Organizing your speech. The first thing that you have to do when you organize your speech is make sure that you have a clear purpose statement. If you're not clear about what your speech is about, your audience will never be clear. This is for you, so make sure that you are very clear about the purpose of your presentation. So as you're organizing your speech, that's number one, because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So the purpose of your speech is first. The second thing is you want to be clear about your attention getter. What is it you already have planned to grab your audience's attention? And then your main points. In the first presentation you're giving, I'd like you to have 3 main points. So 1, 2, 3. What are those main points? You should be very clear about what those are. And then your closing statement. Just like you grab their attention in the beginning, you need to have a very clear and specific closing statement. As you begin to organize your speech, this is what I'd ask you to do. On a sheet of paper, write down these things: the purpose statement, attention getter, main point 1, main point 2, main point 3, and closing statement. Be sure that you can clearly identify all of these components as you're organizing your speech. As you're developing a central idea, the topic is the first area. That's one clear statement. It's just one statement. What is your topic? Now, your general purpose, we talked about the types of public speaking. Is this presentation an informative, persuasive, or an entertaining speech? You have to know clearly what your general purpose is. And then your specific purpose. This is when you can answer this question. At the end of my speech, the audience will. What will they do? So what? What is the speech about? Make sure that that specific purpose is identified, that you know what it is, and that your audience will know what it is. And then your central idea. That's the main points that are going to give understanding to your topic. As we look at introductions, I have a couple things I want to share with you. You may use things like objects. You may use things like an object to gain their attention, or you may use things like a quote, something that you're going to do right at the beginning to get their attention. I think that the attention getter is one of the key and most important parts of your presentation. So as we talk about the introduction and we talk about the objectives for it, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to have a clear attention getter. Grab your audience's attention right at the beginning. And you should establish a speaker-audience relationship. Have some rapport with that audience. Bring them into the topic. Make that topic relate to that audience. And then orient the audience to the topic. If they don't know certain terminology or definitions, be sure that you're bringing them into that right at the beginning in the introduction. As we look at introductions, there are lots of devices that you can use. You can use a statement, an activity. Like I mentioned at one point, if you're going to do physical fitness, you may have them stand up and you may have them do a jumping jack or something to get their attention. You may have them do a visualization if you're going to talk about going on vacation. Close your eyes, visualize being on a beach, some kind of an activity. It could be a statement, could be an anecdote, suspense. You could have a rhetorical question. How many of you want to spend the rest of your life, and there's a question, you may want to talk about things that are happening currently in the environment, quotations, hypothetical situations, a conflict. Humor is one you want to be careful about. Humor is very effective, but it must be done in a way that is humorous to your audience. My rule of thumb is, if you have a humorous statement or a joke, ask 4 people. If 2 of them don't laugh, don't use it in your speech. And appeal to the vital interest of your group. These are some devices for introductions. Now let's look at conclusions for a minute. Remember, the introduction is important, but your conclusion also has to be solid and founded. In your conclusion, the objective is to clearly summarize the essentials of the speech. That's what we talked about in transition. Have a review. Tell them exactly what those points are. In your first speech, it'll be 3 main points. So clearly give a review. These are the 3 points we discussed. And then at the end of your presentation, you need to have a final motivational appeal to the audience, some kind of a closure statement, a memorable closure, a statement that's a clinching ending, so that when they hear your presentation or they think about it later, that statement, that you gave them is what they remember.